It's that time again, folks. And, wait. Do you guys see that behind you? No? God, my eyes must be really playing tricks on me. Anyway, we're back with another top 10 strongest no legendaries video. We're going with the oh so spooky, rare and powerful ghost typing today. It's not hard to determine the best of this typing because there just aren't that many Pokemon to choose from. It makes things a lot easier. So let's waste no more time and get into this. But hey, what's that white hand on your shoulder? Today, we're going to open up the top 10 with Jellicent, a nice special wall that is one of the better defensive Pokemon among ghost types. Its base 105 special defense and 100 HP make it a nice wall, and with the utility it provides, it definitely was deserving of its spot. It is able to use Taunt and Will-O-Wisp to really hurt physical attackers, especially those that rely on setup. It has access to Recover, which is really important for a wall success. And of course, that water absorbability gives you all you need to render other water types useless. It's also a runner of Hex, and pairing that with Toxic/Will-O-Wisp or even Scald can result in nice gains. It's not a perfect Pokemon by any means. It is still only good enough to open the top 10, since in doubles it doesn't have a lot of presence. But I'd have been remiss to not include it in my discussion today. We'll keep going with one of the ghosts we got from the 8th gen, this one being the potentially fraudulent Poltigeist. Naturally, what I mean by that is you could have a potentially fake Poltigeist. Make sure you keep your eyes on it. That said, it has no impact on how good Poltigeist can be in battle. So what's the tea, sis? Well, it's a Pokemon that relies heavily on using Shell Smash, and it does it quite well. A boost to the 134 special attack will make Poltigeist a massive threat on the battlefield. And of course, its base 70 speed being improved is only going to make it all the more difficult to work around. Like, imagine a harsh Shadow Ball from this thing that has a massive special attack stat and is getting a stab boost. It's unfair how much damage it will do. That said, it still needs to get past a lower speed stat to begin with while not being able to take physical hits too well. Alright, we're gonna continue on with another Pokemon that's more a stalling sort. A little defensive too, but definitely not known for being much of an attacker. Sableye is of course a prankster user, so it gets a nice boost in doubles since you'd always love to have something with prankster out there alongside one of your attackers. We all know Sableye isn't good at much else, especially without a Mega anymore. But that prankster ability affords it a fantastic role. Its usage of moves like Taunt to stop Pokemon from using any non-attacking moves, and then Quash to completely slow down the opposing Pokemon. That's all that is asked of Sableye to be a supreme utility option. Now, here's one thing I want to touch upon. Sableye was on the top 10 weakest list, and things have definitely changed for it with the release of BDSP. I'd done that video without that new information and with changes to the metagame, so Sableye definitely belonged here. It has redeemed itself big time. Coming up next, it's going to be Coffeegrigas, one of very few defensive ghost types that there are out there. It's got base 145 physical defense and 105 special defense, both really good, but definitely more so the physical kind. Obviously, its speed is pretty awful, but that is easily circumvented by using Trick Room, which is quite frankly the most important thing Coffeegrigas does. It suddenly starts moving before most Pokemon, and then suddenly it's go time with a combo of Iron Defense and Body Press, crushing anything, mainly normal and dark types that normally would be switching in to throw a wrench in Coffeegrigas' ideas of dominance. It's really all about using that great defense stat and just slamming the opponents around. There are definitely ways to counter Coffeegrigas using special attackers to start with, but regardless of that, it still has a place on all Trick Room teams, and will dominate if given the opportunity. The next Pokemon we're going to talk about on this video is Chandelor, which was on the Fire type list of course, so we'd have to see it on this one. Chandelor is a really strong Pokemon with base 145 special attack. That's without a doubt one of the highest of this list, if not the highest. And it's a big part of what notched it a spot on both lists it's been featured on. Its big issue though is that its other stats don't really follow up on that great special attack as much as you'd like. Its Infiltrator ability though, now that's pretty good. It helps Chandelor hit Pokemon that are hiding behind a substitute, and also has its moves unaffected by screens like Reflect. An ability like Infiltrator really does put Chandelor ahead of many other Pokemon as an attacker, as it will allow it to really bring the hurt no matter what a Pokemon does as long as it isn't using Protect. That's really nice. But again, Chandelor is held a little back by those other stats. The 80 base speed just isn't good enough to play on a Trick Room team or as a good enough Choice Scarfer. And the defenses it has just aren't enough to let it take hits, so keeping it on the field can be questionable. However, at the end of the day, a Choice Spec boosted Flamethrower or Shadow Ball is enough to pretty much one-hit almost anything that doesn't resist. It's not perfect, but it's damn strong out in battle if it gets the chance to get going. The first half of our list today will open up with Alolan Marowak, which is right there with Chandelor and making a reappearance on this list after the Fire one. So Marowak is a big time player on Trick Room teams when you run it with the Fit Club and its Rock Hit ability. Then you're in for a really good time. I mean, just imagine what some of the great Pokemon that know Flare Blitz would be able to accomplish if they didn't have to deal with recoil damage. Also, if you weren't aware, the Thick Club doubles Marowak's attack. And at base 80, that means it could potentially shoot up to an attack stat that is nearly at 600, which is pretty damn cool. Its defense is base 110 as well, so Marowak is definitely not just some glass cannon pushover. The main problem for Marowak though is if it ends up being outsped by a special attacker or losing the Thick Club, you'll lose access to Poltergeist as a move too, which takes away the other best stab option Marowak has. Though, if everything just goes right, there's Swords Dance you can take advantage of to become an even more powerful wall breaker, and coverage like Earthquake and Low Kick. If you'd like, you could even run Lightning Rod to help manufacture an electric immunity. But for the most part, what I laid out prior is probably the best you can do with Marowak. Well, if there was ever going to be a Pokemon that offered more of the utility than Sableye, it might just be this next one we're talking about today, Mimikyu. When you rock this thing with Trick Room and take big advantages of its disguise ability, it'll be such a huge support in doubles. It's able to run out moves like Will-O-Wisp to cause a burn, and has some priority with Shadow Sneak. Like, Mimikyu is just all about using little shortcuts to support perfectly. It's able to take special hits, and the kind of Pokemon it can best provide support to defeat are some of the strongest Pokemon you'll go up against, like Zacian and Calyrex. Mimikyu might be alright as an attacker, but it definitely finds its best usage as a support. And I think it's a very nice ghost type that belongs in the top 5 today. It's time once again to talk about the almighty Aegislash. It's easy to see why it's taking the bronze medal today. At any moment, it could have either 140 in its attack stats or 140 in its defenses, and that's very hard to plan for. Also, the Steel Ghost typing is a very good one. because it completely eliminates the fighting types from the equation, which are one of the biggest responses for steel types that teams will carry. So with King Shield being able to activate stance change and whatnot, you're able to take hits easily and remain a defensive stalwart with the chance to run Substitute and Toxic, and basically punish other Pokemon slowly. However, you can switch over to being an attacker and rely on Shadow Ball or even Shadow Sneak, perhaps close combat. It's mighty viable to set up with Swords Dance too. You can accomplish either top tier annoyance or major power with Aegislash, and for most teams, there will be a struggle to contain this Royal Sword. Though it most certainly isn't impossible. This thing isn't banned like it used to be, so the counters are real and plentiful out there. It's one taunt away from having no defenses and getting put down in the ground. But in doubles, there are a few ways to make sure that never happens. It's so good, and it easily could have been a spot up, but not today. The penultimate Pokemon today is gonna be the Great Gengar. I don't want to spend too much time talking about something so obvious, so I'll keep it brief. If Gengar uses Nasty Plot or just throws on either your choice of Specs or a Band, see what I did there? Well, it's gonna be virtually unbeatable as a revenge killer. Its stats, as seen on screen, are next level and just too good to ride off as a speedy special attacker. Its move pool includes Shadow Ball, Thunderbolt, Dark Pulse, and Dazzling Gleam, among a litany of other moves. Need I go on? The most astute viewers already knew Gengar would be at the top of the list, if not at number 1. So I'll leave you with this. There are few Pokemon that are more self-explanatory than Gengar. You just know, when you see this thing, it's going to do super well for you competitively, or being an annoying mon to go up against. Alright, we're finally here at the final spot of the list, and once again, it's a title that belongs to Dragapult. It is my favorite 8th gen Pokemon, and after today, it can claim the title of the best Pokemon of its 2 typings. Back on that list, it edged out Garchomp due to its ability to work as both a physical and special attacker to a seriously successful degree. And this time, its attack stats and its natural speed were enough to get it in over Gengar. Its 142 speed is seriously just so game-breaking, meaning it's more than capable of outspeeding basically anything in any battle. It's got a lot of coverage on the special side, which is where it's stronger, but also as a physical attacker, it can run some nice utility moves like U-turn, meaning it's got a nice way in and out of battle. That Infiltrator ability plays pretty damn well too, folks. You can build Dragapult however you want, and it'll easily be able to lead any OU team. Even in some instances, an Uber's one as well. I'm legitimately sad that it won't be appearing on any more top 10s for right now, because I never get tired of talking about how good it can be competitively. Well, that's it. The ghost typing is done. And don't you worry, next time we're gonna do the dark typing, since I can already tell that is exactly what you're gonna be picking. I'm just sort of built different, so I can use Future Sight like that. Anyway, let me know what you guys thought about this one, and I'll be sure to check it out. With that said though, I'll see you next time. Welcome back to the outro, folks, your favorite part of the video. Thank you for enjoying another Mystic Umbreon video. We made it through the end of the 8th generation, and now we begin the long trek into late 2022 where Pokemon Scarlet and Violet await us. It's a whole new world we'll live in, but we still gotta catch them all. However, there's still a ton of videos to do and experiences to have until then. If you're interested in more Mystic content, check out my TikTok and the Mystic Umbreon Shorts YouTube channel. If we get the 10k followers on TikTok, I'll be doing a viewer's choice video. If you like Genshin Impact, check out my Genshin channel Tebachinary. So if you all enjoyed, be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more. See you next time.